guys, it's Dylan Laine, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why it's so important to understand your song's purpose before receiving any sort of critique on it. Understanding your song's purpose before asking for a critique will help you to respond confidently rather than defensively to people's opinions of your song. If you're new here, you should definitely subscribe. I make songwriting tutorials, ukulele tutorials, cover songs, and original songs. Before we get started, I've made you a printable cheat sheet, and I'll post a link to that in the description box down below. It'll have all of the information from today's video, so you can print it out and have all of the information right in front of you. Having your song critiqued is one of the most effective and efficient ways to grow as a songwriter. During my time at Berklee College of Music, the majority of my courses were set up as one big critique session. We'd each take turns and play a song that we'd written that week for each other. And then everyone would go around the room and say one thing they loved about the song as well as one critique they had for the song. It might sound scary, but after a while you learn that you become a much better songwriter through these critique sessions. One common occurrence that I would see in these critique sessions is when a fellow classmate would play their song, receive a critique, and then respond back to the person who had given the critique. They would defensively respond with something that completely invalidated the critique that they had just received. It was as if they had no interest in growing as a songwriter, but rather attended the class and performed their songs in order to receive praise and recognition for their work. I'm not putting these classmates down in any way. I completely understand wanting and longing for praise when it comes to our work, but I do feel that they would have responded differently, confidently rather than defensively if they had gone into the critique session understanding their song's purpose. So with all of that being said, I want to share with you 5 purposes that I believe a song can have. Keep in mind that there are countless purposes that a song can be written for, but these are just some of the 5 main ones that I've come across in my own writing as well as watching others write. Number 1, writing a song to release emotions, almost as a form of therapy. The goal of this purpose is to feel a sense of freedom within yourself without any particular consideration for the listener's reactions or opinions to the song. The end result of the song should be a song that accurately portrays your emotions at that present time, yet may, or may not, be something that you keep to yourself. Purpose number 2, writing a song with the intention of spreading a message to your listeners. The goal of this purpose is to clearly state a message that provides your listeners with hope, peace, encouragement, inspiration, or any other type of emotion. The end result of this song should be a song that leaves no room for interpretation of your message, but rather leaves the listener feeling exactly the way that you intended them to feel. Purpose number 3, writing a song to abstractly express yourself or to abstractly convey a message without any consideration to how your listeners will interpret your abstract expression or your abstract message. The goal of this purpose is to feel limitless in your writing, allowing yourself to compose whatever feels best without considering tools, tips, or techniques in songwriting. The end result should be a uniquely artistic sounding song that brings you a great deal of satisfaction upon its completion, yet holds no expectation that any of your listeners will be able to grab the meaning of the song. Purpose number 4, writing a song that tells an engaging story, leaves a memorable melody, and that eventually makes its way to TV, radio, or film. The goal of this purpose is to create something that will sell. The end result of this song should be a song that most people can sing or hum along to fairly easily. And purpose number 5, writing a song that most people can join in and sing along with in the first listen, such as an anthem, an educational song, or a worship song. The goal of this purpose is to bring a group of people together in song, providing them with something that they can easily participate in. The end result of this song should be a song that's rhythmically and melodically simple. So now that we've discussed 5 potential purposes that a song can be written for, let's revisit the reason why it's so important to understand your song's purpose before asking for a critique. Understanding your song's purpose ahead of time will equip you to be able to respond confidently rather than defensively when receiving opinions about your song. For example, let's say you finish one of your songs and you ask a friend to listen to it and then to give a critique of it. They listen to the song, they say that they love the song overall, but that they couldn't really make out the meaning of the message in your chorus. If you understand your song's purpose ahead of time, you'll be able to respond to your friend with one of the following statements. Statement A, thanks for your feedback. I actually wrote this song with the intention of leaving it open for interpretation. So, feel free to make of it whatever you'd like. Statement B, thank you for your feedback. The purpose of this song was to give a clear message, so I now know that I need to simplify my chorus in order to make it more easily understood. If you don't think about your song's purpose ahead of time, you might find that you naturally respond defensively to people's critiques. For example, if someone listens to your song and then says, I really liked it, I just don't get your lyrics in the bridge. Your natural, defensive, instinctual response might be to say, I know, I want the listeners to interpret it however they want. And there is a chance that you did intend for that, but there's also a little chance that you might be just a little bit annoyed because the listener found something to critique. Now, I just want to reiterate that there's nothing wrong with writing a song that has the purpose of being left open for interpretation. But I do encourage you to ask yourself ahead of time, was that really my intention? Or am I just being lazy about revising the song? Consider the following. Was your song's original purpose to spread a message to your listener? If so, you'll definitely want to make sure that there's nothing left open for interpretation in your lyrics. Instead, work on simplifying your song until the message is 100% clear. With this type of purpose, critiques are golden. Get as many as you can. If your song's original purpose was meant to be a release of emotions, almost as a form of therapy, it honestly may be best not to ask for any critique on it. If your song's original purpose was to abstractly express yourself or to abstractly convey a message, again, it might be best to not receive critique on that sort of song. If your song's purpose was to connect with the majority of people with the goal of then being sold on TV, radio, or film, you'll definitely want to be highly in tune to critiques of that song. You want to make sure that from the perspective of outside listeners, that your song is memorable, catchy, and easy to relate to and understand. Last, if your song's original purpose was to bring people together in song through education, worship, or some sort of anthem, you'll definitely want to receive critiques. In those critiques, you'll definitely want to get feedback on whether your song is memorable, catchy, easy to sing along to, and easy to understand. Now that we've talked through 5 potential purposes in writing a song, I want to imagine yourself in a classroom full of people and you are all doing a critique session. You've just played a song for everyone and the song's purpose was to spread a clear message. One of the listeners critiqued you by saying that they felt kind of confused by your lyrics in verse 2. An appropriate response would be to thank them for critique, but then why not take it one step further? Ask them, what particular part did you find confusing in verse 2? Eventually, you'll begin to see critiques as a very vital part of your songwriting process. And you can find comfort in the fact that over time, it'll become easier and easier to not take critiques personally. If you're not already part of a songwriting group, I encourage you to look for one locally. Alternatively, there are groups online as well. I currently run a Facebook group specifically for worship music, whether you're learning it or writing it. If you'd like to become a member of that group, I'll post a link to it in the description box down below. So wrapping all of this up, while it is important no matter what to thank somebody for critiquing your song, it's also important to know how to respond confidently rather than defensively when hearing other people's opinions on what you've written. And a key element to having this confidence is understanding your song's purpose. Thank you so much for watching, and again, I'll post a link in the description box down below to the cheat sheet that will have all of the information from today's video. If you have any songwriting tutorial requests, let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, goodbye!